These are my audience members. Single-sided note cards. Have you ever thought to yourself, are there really people out there that enjoyed high school? Well, none of my college friends enjoyed high school, but I for one actually did. I was lucky enough to have made a group of friends that stems back to when we were just 8 years old. After being friends for 13 years, going to the same schools, experiencing life together, we had to make sure our last summer before college was one to remember. By the end of my speech, the audience will have a better understanding of how my last summer went. The last hurrah with my high school friends consisted of 20 of us going to Lake of the Ozarks, going on a 9-day road trip, and staying in a cabin in the middle of Arkansas. To start up the summer, me and about 19 of my friends and 6 adults rented a cabin at Lake of the Ozarks. After the 5-hour drive, all 26 of us packed in the cabin, ready to make memories. Some of the good memories were cooking massive meals, enough to feed the small village of us, flying on a tube, going 45, falling off and getting concussions, doing donuts on the jet ski, rope swinging, cliff jumping, and just chilling around the fire. While there was a lot of good, there was some bad. As you can imagine, 26 people staying in a 1,200 square foot cabin, there's going to be some tension, whether that be with the couples fighting, the adults bickering about who bought the last gas tank, or who's going to sleep on the air mattress. While this trip was a blast with the entire friend group, there was still a lot more adventures to come. One of my favorite trips I've ever taken was the 9-day road trip with 3 of my friends. The first stop was the state of Colorado. We visited numerous state and national parks, being Rocky Mountain National Park, Rio Grande National Forest, and White River National Forest. We also stopped to experience the unique mountain towns that the state had to offer. Some of my personal favorites were Estes, which is a great tourist town, and if you like saltwater taffy, they have the best saltwater taffy. Vail, which is pretty much perfect, but it's very expensive, and Silverthorne, which has a canoeing part to it that gives you great views of the area. After conquering nearly all of Colorado, we moved to Utah. Utah is one of my favorite states I've ever been to because it's extremely diverse with the national parks it has. It has mountains, deserts, creeks, rivers, lakes, canyons, you name it, and Utah probably has it. It's also pretty close to Vegas if you're in the southwest corner on the bottom, like we were on the 5th night. We decided on the 5th night that we were kind of tired of tent camping in the heat, so we booked a room in Vegas for one night, and it was a great break from the heat and we got good food. After 9 days, seeing things I thought I'd never see, there was still time for one more trip. This trip was the last hurrah. My 3 best friends and I decided to go to Arkansas because we've never been. The cabin that we stayed at was an experience all by itself. It had throwing knives, bow and arrows, guns, spears, wasps in our bed, spiders in the bathroom, cows in the front yard. You name it, and it was happening at the cabin. Although it was creepy and the water smelled like it was going to melt our insides, it was a unique place and always kept us on our feet. The nature was next level. One wouldn't expect Arkansas to be home to such beautiful natural aspects. The bugs were on steroids, but the trees and the rivers and the mountains made up for it. There was a local water hole with a rope swing and a tree trunk to jump off of, with a lot of local people there that were actually really nice and welcoming to us outsiders, which is hard to come by from my travel experiences. I personally could not have had a better summer with the people who have been there through it all with me. All in all, summer 2K18 was one for the books. I got to experience a lot of first times with the people who have grown up with me. That summer will be remembered forever, and it was a perfect way to wrap up the past and get ready for what was to come. If you're lucky enough to have made a group of friends like I have, I would highly recommend getting in the car and just driving. Forget about work, forget about school, and just live. We have our whole lives to work, and work can go to the side for a little bit. Thank you. And here's the audience again. Thanks for listening.